Hey, welcome back to the channel, Sacred Frequency. I'm your host, Chastity Anderson. Welcome back. Hang with me for a little bit. So this is going to be the second episode to the trilogy that I was telling you about in the last episode, where we were talking about trauma in men. Now, I have already did an episode on trauma in general. I have a whole book dedicated to trauma in women, so you are not left out, ladies. Yes, you are near and dear to my heart. But also the other half is men. So that is what we're speaking of in episode 1 and 2 of this trilogy. So yeah, stay with me for a little bit. And then, sorry guys, talking about tooth. And then when I speak of racial, I don't know if I'll say inequities, but racial, I don't know when I speak of race in the sense of healing and in medical, it's because we are all effective differently. It has nothing to do with one race is better than the other, or we choose, or this race don't have this and that race don't have that. I am not speaking to the low vibrational energies. That my voice is a frequency. If you don't resonate with this, then this is not for you, and you are low vibrational. Okay. This is only for the ones, one, that are on your journey, and two, there may be awakening to your journey. This is just a tool, a guide to help you along with the journey, to help you look at some things that will help you dive in and think about, ponder on, that maybe you need to go heal some things. Another question I got from so many people was resources. Where are the resources? Mental health in America sucks. So my best advice for you for resources is to look locally around your community. There are tons of holistic practitioners, therapists. Like I said, the resources are not great, but people are doing and trying. I have got so many positive things that people are doing in their own communities to help with mental health. This month, June 2026, is Mental Health Month. So, men in mental health, this is your month, so this is why we're discussing this. And again, I speak about race with different traumas because it shows up in different ways in different races. It has nothing to do with liking anybody more or anybody less. Race is not even a thing, but that's another video. It's a ploy to keep us divided. So miss me with all that other, and don't come over here with all that bullshit, okay? Because I ain't the one, and I ain't got time for that. All right, so now that I have already cleared the air on that, yes, my mouth is potty on occasions, and I can do that because this is my channel. Thank you. Thank you. Good day. So let's pick up where we left off. So last time I was talking about black men, and I used the word black men that I use men of color because I don't like the term black men. We are melanated. We're not black. This shirt that I'm wearing is black. These are black. I am brown. Melanated. Thank you. So anyway, that's the only reason why that was that. I don't know why that is the only thing you picked up out of everything that I have said in several videos. That is what you picked up on. Because again, I am using my throat chakra to deliver this message. And if you're not vibing with this frequency, then this is probably not for you. And you should keep on moving. I am not for everybody, and everyone is not for me. Now again, sorry, I had to get all that out. Release. Even though this is new moon energy, this feels like more of letting go than manifesting. So you trust yourself and go within. If you know, you know. So where we left off with last time when I was speaking of black men, when you don't deal with trauma, black men suffer from prostatic cancer and colon cancer at very high numbers, and it's in our community. Yes, it also has to do with what you eat and what you're putting in your body, what you're drinking, and all those things, but not just that. Is also the trauma that we suppress. Like, it's multifaceted. It's not just one thing, it's all the things. So that is why I brought it to your attention, so you can do better for you. Try to heal the things that you need to heal. Reiki is a good option. Like I said, you can go speak to someone. Therapy is amazing. Yes, there's also medications, but it's individualized. Everyone is individualized, so I can't just tell you what you should go do. You can come see me. You can make an appointment. So let's keep going. Let's talk about this week's topic, or this the second episode in this trilogy, where we discuss all men and their trauma, which was already planned, guys. It just felt like that, and the temperature in this country, y'all distracted by this one thing and not even paying attention to what you should be paying attention to. But anyway, another discussion. So let's get started. So trauma may wear different faces across cultures, but healing begins the same way. When we create space for men to tell the truth about their pain without shame, is where the real healing begins. And no, it's not only in the melanated community that healing needs to happen in men. It's across the board. Men are supposed to be strong and not tapped into their feminine and be the breadwinner and all these other things that the society has labeled for men. And it's just not, it's sad. And I see men struggle all the time. And it's okay. It's okay to heal. So that's what I'm doing for you. And not listening to none of that other bull. So if you're here, this resonates with you, just listen. Let's examine how culture beliefs about masculinity influence healing, and how men from all backgrounds can move from survival to wholeness, which is the point. That is the point. The goal, the mission is healing, spirituality, and empowerment. Because I feel like all of them go together. So that's why I focus on the mind, body, and soul of a person when I am treating said person. It is not just one faceted, it is multifaceted. What if the strongest man you know are carrying wounds no one can see? What if the anger, silence, overworking, emotional distress, or constant need to stay busy is actually unhealed pain? Just think about that. Like, it's definitely, we are taught to bury it and move on. And that's in every culture, I feel like. I was talking to a Samoan man, for example, and in the Samoan culture, he said that some things they do bury, some things are buried, and because the family does not want to be looked down upon or put in shame for whatever the individual did, it will get buried or overlooked, and we'll keep it moving because it's the family reputation. And that, I feel like that's in a lot of cultures, not just the Samoan culture. And I'm just using that as an example because I actually spoke to a Samoan man and he allowed me to use that. Thank you. Now, is that everybody in Samoan culture? No, because I don't know all Samoans. I love you though. Mahalo. Let's see. The hidden burden. Where I left off. Okay. I already said all that. So let's move on down. So the universal mask. While cultures differ, many men are taught a similar lesson. Your value comes from what you do, not from who you are. Many boys learn early that vulnerability can lead to judgment, rejection, or shame. As a result, men often develop survival masks. The provider, the protector, the warrior, the strong silent type, the successful man, the stoic leader. The problem is that survival masks can become prisoners. And I feel like that's in a lot of cultures, right? I know you know a man, each one, the provider, the protector, the warrior, the strong silent type, the successful man, the stoic leader. I'm pretty sure you know a man in each one of those categories in any race across the board. And sometimes it's a survival mask, trying to keep up the facade and not dealing with their issues that really going to stunt your growth. You're going to have relationship issues, family issue dynamics, pass it on to your kids. So you have generational trauma as well with all that. So the floor is yours. So I think you should find something that, resonates with you so you can deal with the elephant in the room. A shared experience. The be strong message. Across many cultures, boys are often taught messages such as don't cry, handle it yourself, be tough, protect others, and don't show weakness. While these messages may be intended to build resilience, they can also teach emotional suppression, making it difficult for men to recognize, express, and heal from trauma. So then you have the not the emotional intelligent, but the emotional unintelligent man, because you were taught not to feel and just to keep it moving. I feel like that's why, I know back in the day, today it's different, but back in the day, like, men did not come out the closet until they were well grown and things, just cause of that reason. Like, explore your emotions, your feelings. It's okay to do that. And I feel like we should teach our boys that this does not make you weak. And no, I'm not calling everyone gay if they do that. I'm just saying, like, that's from my generation. That is what we have seen. And then, boom. In this generation, it's a little different. But I feel like we should still be telling our boys that it's okay. It's okay to be in touch with your feminine side. One, you want to be able to connect with a woman. How you gonna do that if you are masculine? So, while these messages can be intended to build resilience, they can also teach emotional suppression, making it difficult for men to recognize, express, and heal from trauma. The result is that trauma may show up as anger, emotional numbness, workaholism, addiction, isolation, relationship difficulties, physical health problems, or the ones that just want to be hoes because they don't want to connect. It is a thing. It is definitely a thing. So, you should look at yourself. Is it me? Do I have issues? Yes, you need to heal some things. And men I'm not bashing you. Women definitely have trauma that we have on our own plane and things. And a lot of my work and retreats and workshops that I do are dedicated to women. So this is your dedication. The pain is often present, but the expression of the pain varies. So it comes out in different ways depending on how that man lets it come out. When you heal some things, you show up different. That's when you're ready for maybe a real relationship, or you become emotional intelligent. The culture lens of trauma. Trauma does not happen in a vacuum. Every culture teaches men what emotions are acceptable and which emotions should be hidden. Think of trauma like water. The water is the pain. Culture determines the container. The pain may be the same, but the way it is carried looks different. And it does. The same thing with medical issues. Like, yes, we all suffer from some of the same issues as people, but at the same time, each culture, there's things that stand out like a sore thumb with different cultures. Like I said, like black men are prominent colon cancer and prostate cancer. And let's keep it moving. So we're going to talk about the first one out the gate. White men or Caucasian men. Really peach men, because y'all are not white either. I hate that term. You're not white. White is... that is white. So... but, and me personally, I don't go by race. I date all. I look at energy. I can read you like a book, one, and I read energy. So I rock with who rocks with me. And I don't care who you are, white, blue, black, purple, it don't matter. So there's assholes in every race. There is ugly energy or low vibrational energy in every race. And I don't fuck with that. So, anyway, I digress. Sorry. Next. White men. The burden of self-reliance. Many white men are socialized around individualism. Common messages include figure it out yourself, don't depend on others, success equals worth, be productive. And I don't know how many of my Caucasian counterparts, men, that I know that definitely exude these. Success equals worth. When does success equal worth? That's not a thing, guys. That's not, I don't, know your worth for you. You need to go within and heal the things and know your worth for you. Your success does not define your worth, boo. Sorry. Because I know some very successful men that are not great. They're not great mentally. That's why, guess what? The highest population of suicide in adult men is white men. Because success does not equal worth. It is truth. How trauma often appears. Workaholism, emotional isolation, substance use, depression, hidden behind achievement. Doesn't it sound familiar? Many become experts at functioning while privately struggling. The world may praise their success while never noticing their suffering. Soul reflection. How many men are applauded for their productivity while silently falling apart inside? How many people do you know that like and not even talking about race at this point. How many people do you know, especially if you know people that have been victim of suicide, and it affects all races. So don't go there either. But anyway, it definitely, on the outside, they look great, especially if they're a high performing man and are falling apart on the inside. Families falling apart, divorce, Just it it pains me because it can be prevented sometimes if you do the work on yourself and do it for you. Don't do it for your wife or the kids. None of that. Don't have nothing to do with nothing. All the confirmations in the background. You need to do it for you. Do it for your sanity, because mental health is important. And if you are not great mentally, then you can't help your community. You cannot be a contributor to society. You're going to be poisoned, and it's going to show eventually. You can only hide for so long. So, trauma in white men. Common sources: childhood neglect and abuse, family dysfunction, economic pressures and job loss, military combat exposure, substance abuse within families, social expectations around masculinity. Yeah, you have the weight of the world on your shoulders. Like, you were raised and groomed, especially if you came up in a decent family, to go to school, go to college, get a good job, be a high performer, make that money, get married, have kids. But when did you stop to explore you? Like, what on the outside of all the things that society says you're supposed to do? What if you don't want to get married? What if you don't want to have kids? And then you're looked at as less than, or something wrong with him because he don't want to get married and have kids and go to work. It is okay, men, to do you, to explore you, to get to know you, especially before you dive into a whole relationship, just because that is the goal and that's how you gonna reap the inheritance if you get married and have kids and do the things. It does no one no good if you do not heal for you. Unique challenges. Many white men struggle with the pressure to be providers and self-reliant. When careers, finance, or identity are disrupted, it can create feelings of shame and failure that are rarely discussed openly. And entrepreneurs. I know so many entrepreneurs that, if all color, that fail, and have to do it again and do it again and do it again. But if you are not prepared mentally, that could take you out. You can definitely feel shame and failure and spend all your money and go belly up, and then what? Kill yourself? Could you spend all our money on your business adventure? No, it's always tomorrow. Like, heal the mindset, go back to the drawing board, do the things, sit with yourself. It is, one, you're not going to survive if you're not vibrating high. So that is something that I encourage you to do. The women are getting on board of all seasons. All seasons and the rainbow of colors. That's another discussion. Let's keep going. So I'll take up all your time tonight, or today's evening time for me. Healing focus, emotional literacy, breaking generational patterns, learning vulnerability, reconnecting with authentic identity beyond achievement. So all that is what you need to focus on when you are focused on healing. Emotional literacy, feel the feelings. See why you feel that way. What is this? Why am I feeling like this? That is going to help you. Sit down. Go, like I said, go to therapy. You can do so many modalities in just traditional therapy if that's not what you're feeling. So you can break the generational patterns, learn the things about yourself that you need to learn, and release the things that you need to release, and don't hang on to it. Because I jumped ahead of myself and I went to healing focus, but In white men, the disease progressions, like you see it all. You have diabetes, you have heart disease, you have a lot of different things. But skin cancer is very prevalent in white men, as well as suicide. And both of those things are definitely, feel like it's due to trauma. Like you wear a mask, it's a facade, and you don't deal with the things that you need to deal with. And you blame everybody else, and baby, it might be you, boo. And now the women have high performing jobs, high performing women, like we sitting at the table. That don't mean that you are less than. Just heal the things that you need to heal. Like, it's okay that we at the table with you. We're gonna do it together. That's what you need, the nurturing. Yeah, another episode. Let's move on. Let's talk about Latino men or Hispanic men, depending on where you are from the region. Mexican men depends, like I said, depends on where I'm from, Texas. So we Latino, Hispanic, those are the words we use. With the burden of responsibility, family is often central within many Latino cultures. Men may feel responsible for carrying the emotional, financial, and physical well-being of their families. How trauma often appears: self-sacrifice, internalized stress, emotional suppression, reluctance to ask for help. Many men become caretakers of everyone else's needs while neglecting their own. Definitely true in the Latino, Hispanic households. And don't get me wrong, the Latino women go do careers and all that as well too. But in a traditional Latino home, Papi is getting it by any means necessary, working from sun up to sun down for sure, bringing the money home to the family. But when does he have time to sit down to decompress with what he's going through? Other than with things that are not great, like alcohol, beers, or drugs, which all people go to as coping mechanisms. But that hard worker, the burden of responsibility, definitely. So what shows up in Latino men, you have diabetes, heavy on the diabetes, and I feel like that is a lot to do with they just go. It's not they might get one day of rest out of they go because they're gonna get it by any means necessary, and they're not gonna ask for help. That's not a thing. You're a soldier. You're gonna do what you gotta do and keep it moving. And that's probably with that is with a lot of men, but definitely in the Latino culture. And then they come see the primary care physician when it's already too late. And not too late, but it's the problem has already set and dis-ease is in the body, and boom, now you have issues, health issues. It's going to slow your ass down because you should have been doing that before. But I know you're trying to make a living and provide for your people, which however that may look. Okay. I was trying to see where I left off. Many men become caretakers of everyone else's needs while neglecting their own. So here's a soul reflection for you, my Latino papi. Who cares for the caretaker? Who cares for you? Who makes sure that you're okay? Have you sat down with yourself? You made it. You got a house, a roof over your head, and all things. You already made it halfway if you reach that point. Without going to gang violence, drugs, and all the things, and you went the other route, work, family, and all that. That's even another whole thing, because you in certain areas, Latinos struggle from the same things that black men do, because you do have the gangs, that fast money versus the job aspect. I just know a lot of, in Texas, it's a lot of working Latino men, family men. So yes, you have the thugs, some, but they hard workers, and like I said, who takes care of the caretaker? Trauma in Latino and Hispanic men. Common sources: immigration experiences, family separation, economic hardship, community violence, intergenerational trauma, cultural influences. The concept of machismo can sometimes create pressure to appear strong, dominant, and emotionally controlled. While many Latino cultures deeply value family and community, many men may still struggle express vulnerability due to the cultural expectations. Healing focus: reframing strength, family-centered healing, community support, honoring culture identity while channeling harmful beliefs. Because you don't have to be strong all the time, papi. It's okay to not be that macho all the time. Does not make you weak. But who am I to say? I am not Latino, and I didn't grow up like that. So, I mean, in the culture. So I all I could do is give what I can give and help my Latino man as well, because it's true. Y'all be so hard, and get the help. It's okay. It's okay to ask for help. So, Indigenous men, your turn. The burden of historical loss. Many indigenous communities continue to experience the effects of colonization, displacement, and cultural disruption. How trauma often appears: grief, disconnection from identity, substance misuse, emotional withdrawal. Yet with indigenous traditions are powerful healing pathways rooted in community, ceremony, ancestry, and connection to the land. Yeah, because you forgot. It's been buried, been stomped out, and you forgot. And then you have religion that has been beat into you as well. So then you forgot that ceremony, ancestry, and connecting to the land is what's going to set you free. Soul reflection. Healing often begins when people reconnect with what was taken from them. Did you hear that? Healing often begins when people reconnect with what was taken from them. Oh my gosh, they're my bars. Why do you think so many people are reconnecting with roots? It was taken from you for a reason. If you know, you know. If you do not know, this podcast is probably not for you anyway. Exit. Trauma in Indigenous men. Common sources: historical displacement, boarding school trauma, cultural erasure, loss of language and traditions, poverty and systemic inequities. Yeah, they beat English into you and you forgot your native tongue. You forgot all your culture and the things that make you you. You know how to control the population? Erase the history will help control the population. Your good is gone. Your good has got them. You can erase everything that makes them who they are. We'll keep going. Historical impact. Many indigenous communities continue to experience the effects of generations of colonization and forced assimilation. Trauma is often not just individual but collective and community based. Definitely with indigenous groups. And that's indigenous groups anywhere that colonization has happened. Usually that is stomped out, buried, and you're threatened to forget, which is not great because that's what's going to help you heal. Going to help you heal. So healing focus, reconnection with cultural traditions, ceremonies and spiritual practices, community healing, and culture restoration and identity. When you go looking for the roots, you ain't gotta go looking for them because this day and age, they're gonna find you. Just tap in. If it resonates with you, then you're supposed to do it. Period. Stop being scared. Fear is not real. Fear is not real. And that will keep you stuck. Well, let's talk about the Asian man. The burden of expectation. In many Asian households, achievement and family honor are deeply valued. Men may feel pressure to excel academically, professionally, and socially. And I'm going to put this in there too, and why the women are overlooked anyway, because the boys are who's going to carry the family lineage. When it's really the females. Sorry. Do you know how many chromosomes, genes that you actually get from the male? You get all this from the woman, the whole chain, and you get about this from the man. So who's carrying on the family lineage? Another segment. Let's keep going. How trauma often appears. Perfectionism, anxiety, emotional restraint, fear of failure. Failure may feel larger than a mistake. It may feel like disappointing generations. So reflection. What happens when a man's identity becomes tied to performance rather than authenticity? I feel like you kill the boy. You kill the boy inside. Like you're so focused on the high performing, you're not even taking time to see what you really want to do. Do you want to be the engineer? Do you really want to be a doctor? Do you really want to do these things? But what makes you happy? What sets your soul on fire? Sometimes you don't get to do that, and culture is definitely plays a huge part, especially if you're not an Asian man that has been born and raised in America. Like, don't get me wrong, there's still the Asian presence is there, but I feel like Asian Americans they're not as hard. That's why they came here, for different experiences. So I don't feel like they are as hard on their sons as they are in their own country. But hey, I have several Asian female friends, and they will call me bullshit. It's like, girl, please. It's not true, because they still high expectations for you to high perform and get things done. So go easy on yourself. I follow a guy on TikTok. He's been teaching meditation and Tai Chi, martial arts, and it is so healing and relaxing. So I would definitely, it's for all people to dive in, because I've been doing that along with my yoga, and I love it. Can't wait to come to a class of yours. His is meditation. What is it? Meditation. meditation studio, and he's in Georgia, Atlanta, I believe. Shout out. Love your content. Common sources: academic pressure, family expectations, immigration stress, racism and discrimination, emotional suppression within family systems. And I don't know what I do know that's the agenda for right now, to keep us at odds between each other. But the Asian and the blacks have been together forever, through history. Like, there is a reason, because after they were brought over here to build the railroad system, and after the Americans, the ones that were over the country at the time, were through with them, it was that, bye, we don't need you anymore. And guess what? They turned to our communities, and we took them in with open arms. We shop at your grocery stores, your nail salons, your restaurants, and mind you, that's a lot of the only work that the businesses that they would get funding for. So that's why they do it. Unfortunately, it was kind of forced upon them. And I don't know, I just feel like y'all need to cut it out. All the extra is bullshit. But anyway, we're not talking about that. We're talking about trauma. Trauma in Asian men. So the common sources: academic pressure, family expectations, immigration stress, racism and discrimination, and emotional suppression within the family systems. All those things is why Asian men are very high performers. They definitely are top tier in the working sector, because you gonna get it or you not. Definitely have heard that from Asian men and women. In some Asian cultures, emotional restraint is viewed as respectful or honorable. Mental health struggles may be minimized or kept private to protect family reputation. Healing focus: normalizing emotional expression, reducing stigma around mental health, balancing family expectations with personal well-being, and building supportive communities. Now, I know it's not a quick, there's a deeply culture. So just for you and your mental, though, just make sure you are doing what you need to do for you. So the balance, family expectations with personal well-being. Yes, have the conversation. Say, yeah, I'm interested in this. This is what I'm doing. But on the side, maybe you need to dive into something else other than just the books on this side. Something that lights your soul on fire, that you can get into, that makes you happy. Because side hustles are a thing. And I have a great employee that he is a nurse by trade, but he also does photography on the side, a great photographer. And that makes him happy. That gives him joy. Yeah, he does the other to pay the bills and to show, his parents that, hey, I went to college, I got my degree, I'm making money, I can take care of myself, I'm doing well for myself. But on the other side, this thing with the photography lights his soul on fire, and he's great at it. So there you go. That is all I have on the Asian man. Next, Middle Eastern men. The burden of honor. In the Middle Eastern cultures, men may feel immense pressure to uphold family honor and provide protection. And I said Middle Eastern, but this is really for Middle Eastern, my Africans that are here. And I'm just talking about the burdens on American culture and society, not from your own country. That's a whole different thing, and I can't even speak on that because I ain't even been there. So I'm speaking about burden and trauma that from American born Middle Eastern men, African men different other ethnicities, that your family roots are actually not from America, but now you are here, so you unfortunately are exposed to the traumas of everybody else. And then how trauma often appears is emotional suppression, internalized stress, difficulty expressing vulnerability, carrying grief privately. Many become protectors while lacking space where they themselves feel protected. Let me say it again because I just butchered all that. Many become protectors while lacking spaces where they themselves feel protected. And definitely agree. Like here, when the last time you felt safe here, especially during 9/11, and when everybody was looking at you like side eye. Not being home and being in a different land, I commend you, because we don't cater to you. Like, you have to find comforts in your own home if it's a healthy home environment. Everybody that looks great on the outside is not great on the inside. So soul reflection. Even the strongest protector needs somewhere safe to put down his armor. I feel like that was a bar too. Even the strongest protector needs somewhere safe to put down his armor. And that is so true. So true. Trauma in Middle Eastern men. Common sources: war and displacement, political instability, immigration and refugee experiences, racism and stereotyping. Because I'm pretty sure that you have definitely experienced racism and stereotyping. African men, I don't think so. I mean, political instability, but racism and stereotyping, I don't think so. I don't feel that, but hey, I could be wrong. African men, chime in. Healing focus, processing grief and loss, community support, faith-based healing, and safe spaces for vulnerability. Find your people. Like, I know you have the mosque, you have your community-based things, but if you're Americanized, that doesn't always resonate. So find spaces where you can be you, people love on you, and you can express yourself and your feelings and be you. And that goes for anybody. The hidden costs of masculine conditioning. Across cultures, men may express trauma differently, but many share common wounds. Fear of being seen as weak. Many men have learned that vulnerability is dangerous. Fear of failure. Worth becomes attached to achievement. Fear of rejection. Authenticity feels risky. Fear of burdening others. Men often carry pain alone because they believe they should. And it's time after that. Like, you need a space to heal as well too. So find your spaces where you can do that, men. There are so many resources out here, that small businesses that cater to men and their mental health. Trauma disguises. Many people expect trauma to look like sadness. Often it looks like anger, perfectionism, control, emotional numbness, narcissism, avoidance, overworking, addiction, chronic people pleasing, heavy on the addiction. The chain chronic smokers, that is, and don't get me wrong, I do not discriminate, but if you are doing anything coping mechanism to escape your reality, that is an addiction and a bad coping mechanism. Sometimes you need to face it, clear it, and do something else. Sometimes the behavior society rewards are actually survival responses. The men who never rest, the men who never ask for help, the men who always appears in control. These may be signs of adaptation and not wellness. So check on your men. The universal truth. Although the source of trauma may differ, many men carry similar wounds. I kind of went through all the ones. Fear of being vulnerable, fear of rejection, fear of failure, fear of not being enough, pressure to carry burdens alone when you don't have to, but I understand. A spiritual perspective. Form a healing perspective. Trauma is not simply what happened. Trauma is what remains unresolved within the nervous system, body, mind, and spirit. Many men have learned to disconnect from their emotions to survive, yet emotions are messengers. Emotions are messengers. Tap into that feminine energy so you can feel the emotions. It is okay. When ignored, they often return through stress, illness, burnout, conflict, or emotional disconnection. Healing is not becoming less masculine. Healing is becoming whole. Let's do a guided reflection before we check out of here for today. I know I had a lot to say. This is one of my longest episodes. So, as we close out for today, men, just know I love you. I support you in every color of the rainbow. Okay? And I just want you to heal. Heal, heal, heal. So close your eyes. If you're in a safe space, if you can, go touch some grass and close your... Hey, sorry. Disconnection. Once again. This is the third time me trying to record this last part. Let's do some guided reflection, guys. Close your eyes if you're in a safe space. You're going to breathe in through your nose for 4 seconds. Hold it for 4 seconds and breathe out through your mouth when you exhale. So let's do it. Breathe in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold it for 4 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let it go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Close your eyes. Breathe in through your nose. Hold it. Breathe out. What burden have I been carrying that no one sees? What emotion have I been afraid to feel? What story about strength did I inherit? Is that story still serving me? Think about those questions while you sit in silence. What burden have I been carrying that no one else sees? What emotion have I been afraid to feel? What story about strength did I inherit? Is that story still serving me? Just sit as long as you need to sit. I'm going to continue talking to close this out. But whatever comes to you while you're paused in this silence is what you need to deal with. No matter your race, culture, religion, or background, pain that is hidden does not disappear. It simply waits. The courage of this generation is not found in carrying more. It is found in the healing that previous generations were forced to carry alone. Here's an affirmation to use. I release the belief that strength requires silence. I honor my humanity, my emotions, and my healing. I am allowed to be supported. I am allowed to be seen. I am allowed to heal. Ooh. You can open your eyes, guys. This episode, I just thank you for letting me hold space with you today. Because beneath race, culture, and social expectation, it is common human need to be seen, heard, valued, and loved. I just want you to remember that because it is truth. I love you. Love yourself too. Have a good evening until we meet again. Thank you.